You don't have time. Yep, this is one of the most time, right? I mean the time that's being mentioned here. That's one of the most valuable resources out there. And that's why I talk about managing time like managing um currency. Right. Of course, right. I'm not perfect. So I have a lot of things to improve upon as well. But in general, right, a lot of people think they have time and they keep postponing their goals or things that they would like to do. And then eventually, somewhere down the road, they're 60. Uh, and now they realize they now no longer have the youth or energy to go out there and do that thing anymore, right? That passion is gone. Your knees hurt too much. Lost. Um, lol, but it is sad, man. It is. It is very, very tragic, in my opinion. Um, you have only limited window to really go after your goals, right? And I think this applies to to people who are in their 20s, right? Early 20s, even mid 20s. It's that they think the 20s, sometimes people think the 20s last forever. Like, no, it's just a decade, right? A decade is smaller than what you think. It goes by like that. And you're in your prime during those 10 years, you know? That's your prime age, your prime to whatever the fuck you want and get away with it. To a degree, right? Like, you can get away with drinking excessively, you know, smoking excessively, things like that, because time, youth is on your side, right? You're young, your system will process it, you can function on low sleep. You can take all those liberties and your body can still cope up with it. But after that, things start slowing down, right? Especially as you start turning 30. That's how time, that's how far the time is. That's why athletes tend to slow down after the age of like 30. You see them like at 31, 32, they slowly start slowing down. They no longer rely on just athleticism and they are relying more on technique and skill and precision right now. Like when they are young, they can use the athleticism. Like in basketball, you'll see that, they'll start slowing down the dunks, go for more precision and technique instead of trying to brute force everything. Because as time progresses, you gotta adjust, right? You gotta change tactics. Now, what is the message here? The message is time flies by faster than you think. And it is very imperative that we pursue whatever we want to pursue with the limited time that we have. Because at the end of the day, no one cares, right? No one really cares about us, what we did, you know, 10 years, but even a year from now, it won't matter. Like they'll probably forget about you. So don't let the people around you stop you from doing the thing that you want. Yeah. Um, because I've seen a lot of people, postpone their goals on, they're afraid of what other people think. Right? That's why they're like, you know what? Maybe not now. They think that, and they keep postponing. And then they eventually realize time flies by, and then boom, they're old now. And I'm an example of this as well. That I've tried to pursue a few goals of my own, and this is my fault. Due to my own lack of work ethic and laziness and procrastination, years have gone. You know, few I think 3 years have passed by. So there you go. I have some regrets. Maybe you have some regrets. Let's not sulk in, let's not drown in them. Let's not be super sad about it. But what we can do instead is we can use that as a lesson, right? All you have is one life. And in that one life, you have a very limited amount of time in which you have high amounts of energy, physical capability, you're healthy, you can do a whole bunch of shit, you know. A prime is only a decade or two, right? From your 20s to your 40s, talking about men and children. You have only those 10 to 20 years out of, I don't know, 75 to 100 years of an average human's lifespan. That's a small chunk, right? That's like, if you live to 100 years old, then that means only 20% of your life. You can only really enjoy 10 to 20% of your life. That's how it is. Yeah, now, with medical advancements, yes, you can, push till your 50s, but that's 30%, right? And that's only if you live up to 100. On average, people live to like 80 or something like that. Right? What's the average lifespan? Except if you're in Japan, average lifespan. Okay, in lifespan in world, 71.95 years. The US is 77.43 years. So let's say 75. Let's take an average. And then let's say you're only able to, you're from your 30s to from your 20, sorry, from your 20s, from 20 to 50. That's your peak, basically. Usually for men, that's the peak. Right? That's when they can do most of the stuff. Like they can be really active. They can really go after their goals, things like that. Do whatever they want, basically. That's like only 40% of your life. You can only really enjoy 40% of your life with full awareness and consciousness. And if you fuck up the first 10 years, or is your 20s, then boom, you now have to play catch up for in the remaining 20 years. And after that, your body starts slowing down. After you're 50, right? Starts slowing down. You can't work really as hard as you were able to back in your 20s. And boom, there you go. So the message that I'm trying to share with you is time is limited. And it will be it would be much more productive and wise to spend that limited amount of time that we have in the one life that we have got on things that we love to do, the things that we really want to pursue deep down inside us, right? Whatever we think we want to pursuing, If it works out, it works out. If it didn't, you at least know you tried. Because what's worse is it's not, you tried and you failed. You know for sure, like, hey, I tried, but I failed. You know the outcome. It's the what else that are more painful. Like every day will be filled with regret. I have a lot of regrets. Like that, like what if that, what if this? I would highly suggest try your best to avoid that regret. And how you avoid that regret is by going all in on that thing that you want to pursue. Give it your all. Don't give a shit about the outcome. Give it your all, and then the rest of the God take care of the rest. Right? That's what I'm doing. If it's meant for you to happen, you know, and you will be left with the satisfaction knowing that you gave it your all, you tried your best.